what we are basically going to learn and understand is how to particularly drop a particular row that appear multiple times. This can be really useful in a scenario whereby a row that appear multiple times. This can be really useful in a situation whereby a particular row tends to appear 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times, which is really bad in our case. When let's say the situation where we come to that of machine learning, it can make the machine algorithm to actually favor a particular section. Meanwhile, that section was actually wrong, which can lead to overfitting and underfitting. Don't worry, when we get to that of machine learning, I'm going to explain it a little bit more. Let's assume that this Peter of a guy, I made it double here. So I'm going to create double of it, and then here it was asked there's another 7 on it. If I have to print my data frame here, okay, let me run it. So this is the data frame that I currently have. You can see Peter and the age was 7, and Peter the age was 7. You can see it appeared multiple times. So how can we handle this kind of problem? We are going to make use of a method inside of this of our pandas library. It's called drop duplicate. To do that, it's just basically simple. So we are going to come here and say our data frame drop underscore duplicate. Just simple as that, and then we are going to set what in place equals to. We are going to set in place is going to be equals to true. There's a whole lot of other parameters that this drop duplicate does, but let's look at this first one and see what we get as an output. Okay, so we got an error here. Data frame object has, do you mean drop duplicate? So we're supposed to be drop duplicate. Hope that was correct. Duplicate, just as that, drop duplicate. So let's run it again and see. As you can see there, that of the second Peter is gone. You can see what I actually did was you can see we had 2 Peter and 7 here. What pandas this drop duplicate will actually do, it took what is actually called the first parameter. So we can actually set it here. We can say what keep. If we set keep here, we can actually define what we want to do. We want to actually keep what first. That is what actually took effect. This is a parameter that we can set first to it. You can see that there were actually 2 rows, and the first one was index 0, the second one was index 1. But what actually happened here is this: the index 0 is the first, and it was being left, and then the second index 1 was actually being removed. So default, these are pandas setting, but you can set to set to that of the second is your choice. But let's do for the second. Let's see. Remember that in this our scenario, there's no actually index 1. Like I say, index 1 was the second, it was actually being removed. So when we run this, what we're expecting to do is to see that of the index 1 and index 0 is going to be removed. Like the name alone, keep, should be more than enough to explain what it actually does. So let's run it and see what we are going to get. Okay, so these keeps must either be first or last. Sorry for that. This is supposed to be either first or last. So if we set the last, since there are actually 2, it's going to take that of the second one and it's going to neglect for that of the first. Let's run this and see what we are going to get. Okay, as you can see here, we see that the index 1 was actually, or I can say the row 1 was now present, meanwhile the row 0 is being removed. Sorry for that. Instead of it was not actually first, it was actually first and that of the last, but I made a mistake. It was not supposed to be second. So you can't just specifically, you can't just manually set the one you want to actually appear. So with help, we can actually maybe set the first one or the last one, even though they are all the same. So this makes sense since they are all the same thing. Picking the one you want is not actually the best thing to actually do. Just either you take the first or you take the last. You can see that the first guy or the 0 will actually be removed. This is actually really useful when it comes to this of data analysis. We can actually applied it a bit of in my data we are currently using. This what is just a sample I created for us to actually have a knowledge of it. You can actually apply it on your data. In case if you are not really sure, maybe your data contains some kind of row which can introduce noise, a kind of row that appears multiple times. Like I said, it can also introduce noise to your data that you do not want at times. So with this, we have come to the end of this video. If you find this video helpful, subscribing button won't be a problem. So I'll be happy to see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.